Rachel Fleischman, Happy Hour Podcast, episode 176. We are raising a shot glass at that, to our guest, Steve Szymanski. I will give him appropriate intro soon.
Thanks
here. Let's take that one back.
Blackberry.
Cheers.
Not too bad.
Got a little...
Steve's kind of an expert.
He is an expert. We were just talking about this. How about Blackberry Brandy? Polish
culture.
Let's put it that way.
Schnufka.
Schnufka.
And we usually have it chilled, and some bars actually do carry it.
Okay.
But that's why I was kind of curious. It tastes pretty good.
I would prefer it chilled.
Yeah, I think it might...
I used to order Mogan David wine at bars.
Mogan David
on
wine.
Ice, on the rocks.
Interesting.
And that's got a similar flavor to chilled Blackberry Brandy for sure.
I bet you if you throw that in the fridge, you'll like that.
Yeah.
All right, noted.
Noted. Done.
Put in fridge. And if you haven't tuned in, this is our Drexel branded Blackberry flavored brandy.
And let's put a teaser in here.
Let's do that.
If you know Steve.
If you know Steve.
And you're listening, I did give him 8 bottles. He's only looking at 4. We're going to give him one more case on the way out. I gave him 8 bottles. He's going to keep a couple for himself.
I'll be selective.
There are a few. If you really want it, give Steve a call. He's got selective. He's got a few bottles he's willing to share.
Oh, good stuff. Thank you for that and for sharing that, Steve. Welcome back to the Schnufka. Ooh, missed the end there.
The Schnuff.
Okay, we got it. So yeah, Steve, you've been with us before on the pod. Welcome back. We have an agenda here. Certainly, lots to celebrate. Some recognition.
Time out.
If
you just saw 175.
Yes.
I am now pouring my Guinness.
The right way.
The right way, in respect and honor to Father Maher, who was on our last episode.
Yes.
Taught us how to pour Guinness. So
I didn't know there was a special way to pour Guinness. What is it?
It was quite something. Again, in the last episode, it was pour it really quick.
Yeah.
No, pour it really slow.
So.
Oh God, I did that wrong. Pour it really, really slow to about 3/4.
And it was like straight up, right?
So just let it settle.
Okay.
So a little bit more. Real slow. I did that wrong. I dumped first. So you want that to just kind of sit.
I'm so glad you're
But
doing
all
this
those
without me.
8,000 ingredients that's in Guinness from 400 years ago, the real nectar of the gods.
Yes.
You do that, and I think it was 30 seconds, was it?
Something about that. That sounds about right.
Like when it kind of settles in, it's kind of settling in. I kind of did it wrong, and then you just completely dump.
Yes, I remember that part.
You dump to get the head.
This is why I'm not a bartender.
Because when you drink Guinness, you want to taste the head first, and then get to the creamy, milky
good stuff.
Goodness of
I
the
think
gods.
you did okay.
And who gave you these instructions?
Father Michael Maher, a priest from Marquette University.
Yep.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So you're following a priest. Big
so
shoes.
yes, cheers. Cheers to that.
Yes, okay. Let's get going. Sorry, everybody. Everybody came here for trust knowledge.
Welcome back, Steve. Steve is a Drexel team member.
I did pour it wrong. It's not enough head.
No, okay.
I started it the wrong way, so I can tell the difference.
All right, well, there you go. It's a science right there. So yeah, here at Drexel, we look for a lot of rock stars to join our team. We're really grateful because Steve, you're a legend here in the industry, Hall of Famer, if you will. We called him Truss coach, component training and field specialist, work dad. Got a lot of titles, but has a lot of impact here, and so we really want to talk about. Our pre-notch truss bracing patent product and recent nomination that you had as well. Let me. I mean, it deserves a highlight for sure. Structural Building Components Association. You were nominated for SBC Industry Leadership Award. So congratulations.
If he doesn't win it, it will be an insult to the industry.
Well, I did see the other folks.
Okay.
I don't want to take fourth. Let me put that way. There's Hinkle, these guys are long time. Hinkle's a second generation, big time industry leaders they're out east. We'll see.
Well, for context, this is a massive national recognition. I had to look it up a little bit, but for those that have nurtured, supported, and grown the structural building components industry, not just your vision, but your innovation, which again, we'll get into. So what does that mean to you? I know, humble guy
probably.
Here.
It takes a while to be around, so that's usually what happens as you get maybe older. Some of that recognition. I think it was Andy Riddler responsibility, but no, it's kind of fun. I mean, you have a lot of peers around the country. My prior Truss Systems days, I was I volunteered and I was on the SBCA board.
Okay.
So we helped put together the trade show, the BCMC.
Okay.
So we would travel out at that time. Now there's a set location; it just rotates.
Okay.
But prior to that, we were, BCMC was held in. Oh, where were we? We were all over Florida. We were in Texas, but now it's more locally. They rotate between Milwaukee, Omaha, Cincinnati to kind of keep it geographically located for everybody, East Coast, West Coast. So we would help put the trade show on. It was kind of fun.
Okay.
Got to travel, see a lot of different truss plants. Obviously, meet a lot of people that have been around this industry, longer than I have.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
How long has it been? About 30 plus years for you in the industry? Yes.
Thank you.
It's impactful.
We're coming up on year 40.
Oh my God.
1987.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
where did that go?
Well,
and really, trusses have only been around, not for thousands of years. Jesus
Okay.
didn't use trusses.
Nope, certainly not.
Pioneers
That's
didn't
carpenter.
use trusses. The 1920s didn't have trusses. Trusses have really only been around how long, Steve? And still, in pockets of the country, it's still new technology.
We
which is
talked
really
about
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy yesterday, actually. They're somewhat slow. There's still so much conventional framed, rafter framed, Texas, believe it or not, out East Coast, where trusses are not used on multifamily. It just blows me away.
And when did they start being when were they a thing? Like, when were they
Trusses really started in
invented?
the 60s, they started 70s,
Yeah.
really became popular.
I heard Richardson Industries, which is now Richco.
Okay.
I've been told, local company very near here, used to be, before we built their own, we used them a lot. I've been told that originally they would actually set shingles and demonstrate on 2 different houses and just be like, see, they didn't fall out.
Oh.
Like big bundles of shingles, like way
Yeah.
down. And then they actually did live demos of see, it worked.
Yeah, so
And that was only in the 60s. That was not, again,
Yeah.
reasonably not that long ago in the history of construction,
Wow.
right?
That's helpful
and even the
context.
game plates, the different manufacturers have evolved from, I guess you say the 60s, that is pretty old when we're looking at it, but how it's come about, the different type of teeth, the plating, it's, really, I mean, for what we're doing now, you look at some of these homes and some of the projects that we do, obviously the software, I say this in my little speeches, I'm kind of old because I even did this before computers. We had to do it on a drafting table and, the geometry and trigonometry. So that gives us an advantage because we don't have to rely on the computer.
Yep.
We had to kind of do it before that.
Yeah, I did it on a drafting board as well as estimating and residential design a little bit. I always use AutoCAD, but there's 2 ways to do things. Is really to lean on the computer and understand the analytics and math behind it. And that is still how some of our designers work, and estimators and takeoff team. And then other people like Steve can conceptualize that in their head.
Yeah.
And I used to ask when I interview people, are you building it in your head or are you using the math behind it? You're gonna get to the same destination doing it. I always estimated with analytical knowledge. I can't really build things in my head and conceptualize how that's gonna look. Where people like Steve have a different skill set in their brain, they can build it as they go. I've always seen those people build it a little slower because they're a little logically building it,
Sure.
but much more detailed. Mine is more winging a prayer and using analytics for it, but I can go much faster. Again, we get to the same point.
Yeah, gotcha.
Just interesting.
It is.
I think there's 2 different minds on that. Would you agree, Steve, working with a lot of truss designers?
Yeah, and especially, you say truss coach.
Yep.
Steve Harris just does a heck of a job.
Shout out to him.
Shout out.
We have so many young designers, and
Which is funny because when Steve and I got to know each other, and the industry would say, there are no young designers. No one's ever available. No one wants to do this. It's a dying thing. How are we going to find more designers? There's just aren't any available, Joel. This is impossible. You don't know what you're doing. You can't scale it up without designers. I'm like, we'll find young designers, and kind of I literally just waved my hand at Steve. He's like, no, you're not going to be able to. I'm like,
so again, that's where Steve Harris just and Paul Kessis, they do a lot of the training. The struggle or the challenge is that, okay, now we're computer dependent, where they don't realize that, they're taking that as gospel, that that's the way.
Yeah.
So it's up to us to maybe give them the knowledge of, okay, just because the programmer, my tech, said this way, doesn't mean it's necessarily right or
or the best way.
The best way.
Optimal.
Yeah.
So again, that's the challenge for younger designers, and that just comes with time.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
that's just-
Time, but intentional time. Really understanding and putting yourself in the framer's shoes and really learning the industry, even down to how the robotics work. Like, is this even going to work out in the shop? You got to care enough to learn, too. It won't come if you don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think you did touch on this last time you were on the pod, but your journey to Drexel, our merge with Truss Systems, kind of walk us through that. How long has that been? I think we had said 8 or 9 years.
2018.
2018. Okay.
Yeah, our very first manufacturing. Really wild, you know. It all started with offsite construction, really. Hearing it from my words, I remember asking Richco, which we mentioned, Automated, Wendrix, the teams that we were using to build trusses, saying, hey, are you ever going to get more into offsite wall design, panels? And it's really tough for those companies. I don't blame them.
Yep.
The problem is they're selling it to lumberyards. Lumberyards are like to sell sticks. So it would be a huge risk for them to do a capital investment of $30, $40, $50 million, not knowing if any lumberyard's going to actually buy it from them since they don't go direct to the builder.
Yeah.
So a very risky proposition. And they really were like, we have no plans. And I'm like, oh crap, what am I going to do? This is really where we want to take Drexel.
Yep.
So reaching out to Steve, just knowing they did a really, really good job. I was really actually naive. Like, if I knew how complicated it was, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have called Steve. Manufacturing in general.
Yeah.
And I think it was just a time in their careers where they're like, you know, we need to look at the big picture and an exit strategy, and we kind of just went for it. I don't think they knew how crazy I was, and I don't think I was quite ready to understand that. What manufacturing was, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. I'll figure it out. It was a good arrogant naivete. How do you say that? You know, right? There's something to being.
Oh, a naive genius? Or no?
It's naive genius is a good way, but a different way to think it is like you're really almost arrogant when you start something.
Yeah.
How hard can golf be?
Sure.
You're out there and you're like, holy shit, this is really hard.
Say no big thing?
Yeah, I don't know what the term for that is, but
Yeah.
that's what I kind of had. Right?
I do remember some of our conversations, you know, when you had reached out and, you know, as put more thought into this, and maybe you remember these two. I said, Joel, there could be some synergy because the only way we were really going to scale it up, as you said, we were an independent, really selling direct, and we did sell to a couple of lumber yards that bought trusses, but we were almost competitors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, in many ways for sure.
But you know, I knew it would work. I think I remember I told you this is probably the max you're going to get out of this facility, and look where we are today with what's going on. I mean, it's I told you it would work out.
Yeah, there was definitely a natural synergy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, part of it is when you do vertical integration, the beautiful thing is the sales are there, right? So as a straight manufacturer, it's very difficult to do capital expenses. So like, well, where are the sales going to come from? And we're like, well, we're already subbing out 98% of our business. We'll just do the sales internally. And you're like, oh, because even banks go, you know, if Steve as Truss Systems would have wanted double or triple capacity and put in robots, they would have quickly said, well, that's cool, Steve. And he's like, yeah, it is cool. You know, SCBA, this is the way of the future. And they're like, where will the revenue come from? And that's when it kind of goes crickets of like, well, I'll sell more. And you're like, okay.
Sure.
I'm going to try the bank down the road. So vertical integrations is got a lot of synergy. And that's why it's always worked for Drexel so far.
Yeah.
And will continue to work, I'm sure.
Well, and from 2018 to today, 2026, with that expansion, obviously you played a huge part in that. Walk us through what that's been like.
I don't know if I had, as far as the expansion part, again, what my role, you look at people like Ross does a hell of a job.
Yeah, he does.
As far
Shout out to Ross Harder.
as far as taking care of the building, I think it relies on me, like pricing projects. I know that inside and out. You know, that's probably my area of expertise just because we've done it so long.
Yeah, and if we can get Steve in front of a customer, I've never met someone better. I'm glad he's not my competitor. If Steve gets in front of a customer, and not that he's a used car salesman talking him into a truss package, he's so knowledgeable, has so many ideas on the spot.
Yeah.
I've said that many times. If I was a builder halfway through Steve's conversation, I'd be like, okay, enough.
Yeah.
I'm just going to buy trusses from you. You beyond earn my trust, and I will always buy trusses from you if that's how it's going to be on every job.
That's part
he
of the
really cares a lot, and has really got good ideas. He's kind of a savant.
Part of the motivation. I know I am passionate about this. You want to make it work.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of exciting things. It's just not just trusses. I mean, it's like even you look at Drexel as a whole, how many new people.
Yes.
Our QBs, they're trying like heck to understand some of this stuff. They just don't.
Yeah.
There's some of those challenges we can talk about on this thing too, that how are we going to even take this to the next step?
Yeah.
But again, that comes from
and
people.
Steve's challenge always has said, we want to take lumber salesmen and make them truss salesmen, right? And we've gotten better at that, but there's no end to learning trusses. Yet to be respectful, and we've called it that way before. Our quarterbacks really are general doctors, which is really, really good. They have to know when to tap into the surgeon. They're never going to be an expert of every form of cancer. They can identify it as cancer, and they just have to know which surgeon to call to help the builder. So you can't get them up to speed on every single disease that's out there, right? They just have to know who to call within the team so the builder's not impacted.
Yeah. And
the builder gets really, really world-class customer service through our team.
For sure, and that's where a lot of that coaching comes in.
Correct. And you can't be afraid to kind of push back even with architects, engineers, because again, they may have that title, but we see it, we had a job we met on last week. I think we were awarded a $1 million contract from McGann. I think it was one of our first projects with them.
Yeah.
Same thing. I said, guys, there's just better ways to do this. If your structural engineer goes along with it, and in that particular project, this is crazy, but we're probably going to cut $20,000 to $30,000 of truss cost out of that roof. Now it's a large project, mind you, but that's what to me is it's almost a win.
I always say if you put $20,000 on the table, it's still $20,000 on the table. It's still a lot of money. I don't care if it's a $4 million project or a $50 million project. $20,000 is still $20,000.
So I mean that opens their eyes right away.
Yeah.
And it gives you maybe some credibility. Say, hey, I'm not trying to BS them. I said this is no BS. The more you know, the more we can. If you understand this, then you can make a great decision.
True value engineering. And there's always opportunities in all facets of the materials we sell to find as I say, 20% cheaper. When I talk 20% cheaper, 20% better, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's not always straight ripping our margins apart. It's finding that 20% cheaper way. The cost of building just keeps soaring and soaring. I just found out the average price of a new home in Dane County right now is $675,000, which means the average person, based on 36% of their income, dual income, going to the loan, they fall wildly short of ever being able to buy a house of new construction or a nice house in that marketplace, which means it'll be either a permanent rent. So we got to find a way to roll down cost, or again, rentals, large scale projects as we call it, will continue to be the norm if we can't figure out and help the industry control cost. Question for you, Steve, something that you're a good talker, right? So you're after golf or somebody you just met, or it's your kids, or it's a new person like Jules. How would you explain our truss plant? I have a hard time finding words. How do you explain it, the square footage, the board footage that comes through it, the scalability with the robotics? Like how would you say, okay, I see that place on Wrightstown, when I go around there, it seems like you guys are doing some stuff. What do you guys do inside the walls?
Here's what they ask me. So they kind of get the background. They go, why are you still working?
That would be a big one.
I get that asked. They go, why are you still working?
And if you're not watching, Steve is pre-representing himself like he's 90 years old right now. Steve is a young man.
59.
Like young man. 59. Very good shape, yeah. So don't be like, what is this guy going to be wheeling in? Like, he's a very young guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
59 is funny. Like, if you're 52, 59 is really young. If you're 23, 59 is really old. So it depends how old you are.
Perspective.
Like, how do I become work dad if I'm not a little bit older?
Earned.
To answer your question, I said before that I've been fortunate to have been in a lot of facilities across the country. How do when I explain to somebody that, where I get to come to work, Drexel, and I say this and I kind of tell them, I can say this because I could tell Joel you're full of shit or something, and because I think we have that respect, or I want to make Drexel better. I tell these people, they're doing this because Drexel wants to be the leaders. We're out there in front. What we're doing with this is why I have a passion with this, the bracing stuff. It's so simple. It's Lincoln logs. Nobody thought of that. We're pushing the envelope of how people were told they have to set trusses. We're making it, if the word innovation, if you can make it safer, faster, cheaper. You're talking about bringing down costs. This is a relatively, really inexpensive to really added safety, and again, efficiency, something simple like that. So that's, again, a lot of the passion. When you go through these truss plants, I mean, again, a lot of people have never been in a facility, so I kind of try to explain, where other plants are at, how things are done, other locations, and then it's kind of a wow factor. Again, we have to use this going forward. Every time we bring a customer in and they see this, they see the commitment that Drexel has made to be an industry leader. I mean, you can't deny that when you go through that facility.
Now this sounds like hyperbole, but I still can't really I can't take it all in when I go in the factory. I'm kind of overwhelmed with emotion, and a little bit of it is the competitiveness and trying to be the industry leader. A little bit is the pride in it as a human. A little bit is the teamwork, just seeing the people that work there, how it all came together without very little of my hand, if you will, or my input at all. Very, very little. Besides maybe lucky enough to hire some good people. And it's very overwhelming going into that factory. It's really one of a kind that I've seen. Amherst is similar, Kewaskum is similar. Wrightstown just sets the standard because of the volume they do. And how you build a truss. It's an interesting thing.
I also, when I bring people through, there's still, I'm going to say there's probably, 8, 10, 12 current employees that were with us at Truss Systems that are still there. So then when I bring somebody through, I introduce them, say, hey, this is, Mike Altman. I'll give a shout out to Mike. Or there's a lot of guys. These guys they're great.
I love seeing those guys.
But you know what?
I used to work with them daily. I was there,
This was a quote from probably a week and a half ago. It goes, it is easier now. Okay, so what we're also doing, some of all the equipment, you talk about safety, workers' comp. It's still not an easy job, don't get me wrong, but it's some of the things that we're doing, it's more manageable, so you can be 59 years old and maybe still.
And that's the definition of supply happiness. I when we first had the truss plant, they went home dog tired. It wore on their bodies, their mind, their spirit. They had a hard time being a father. They had to go and sleep. It was a hard job. It's still a difficult job, but I don't think it's a back-breaking, holy crap, I can't believe I signed up for this job. So that is part of the emotions that I have for sure. Let's just example though, in 11 years, what volume were you, I don't know that you would know it better than me, what volume were you doing at Truss Systems? Well, how many people did you have, and maybe board or like how many trucks a week? Give me some reference, and then where we are now.
As far as
job, how many jobs?
The volume, and again, you look at lumber.
And kind of dumb it down for somebody like Jules that doesn't have what board footage means.
We the most we ever did was probably $10 to $11 million. Okay, that was.
And that would be how many truss jobs? Let's just call it truss jobs.
You'd have to break it down if you were doing. Multifamily, everything kind of skews it. But let's just say your average job maybe $5,000 to $8,000. But now we're probably pushing. We'll be close to maybe doing $40 million. You look at the size. We were about 39,000 square feet in that old facility, and now we're up to what, 400. So it's like
a new expansion too.
Yeah, and again, there's a lot of different things with it. A lot of stuff is done inside, like you said. Balance is, we're not sheeting trusses outside in wintertime. It's done inside.
Yeah, we're one of the only, unless you know of other ones, in North America that has the stack rack, which is stacking your trusses for the job under the roof. And we're only doing that because we run 3 shifts, and I can't say I was the driving force behind that. It was a lot of us, but definitely in January, and I'd have to go to the bathroom because I'm old at 2 a.m. and thinking about some poor bastard that made it through and still works through. I know some of those guys. They're stacking trusses right now in a pouring. Because the thing is about working outside in a truss plant, that truss is coming out 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. And it does not matter the conditions outside, but it's going to come out to you and you have to stack it, you have to sheet it. So they're actually doing carpentry work and forklift work in unbelievable 2 a.m. conditions. So we put that all under cover in our new plant, and it was extremely expensive. It does not have an ROI to it, besides supply happiness, truly.
Yeah. Well, and as a finder too, I think that's been kind of a reframe that we've really tried to bring to candidates of this is not your dark, dingy manufacturing plant. This is state of the art. This is robotics from.
I call it hospital clean.
Hospital clean, surgical,
surgically clean, like this. You can eat off the floor. mentality, and it really is that way. It's not like this dingy, dark, grimy, soot-filled, that you think of a factory.
Yeah, I challenged, I said, you can go anywhere across the country. This will be your top dog right here.
That's cool.
Something to be proud of for sure.
And Steve and I being sports guys, it's just fun to be kind of on a dynasty team, right? Like it's like, come see us anytime. We'll show you our locker room, we'll show you our weight room.
Correct.
We'll show you what we're doing.
For sure.
It's kind of fun.
Talk to us a little bit about this patent process and, again, you saw a need, safety, all of that, time.
So Steve owns or has invented how many patents? You're at 2, 3, 4, 5 patents. So
really not the bid.
Not often do we see people that have invented and have patents on 5 things, so that's pretty cool. So we're talking about the new one today.
Yes.
Pre-notched, I call it Lincoln logs. Couple, again, real simple concept, but again, different parts of the country do things different ways. I'll tell you really where this came about. This was probably 3-4 years ago. We did a multifamily job, apartment, and it was let's just say it was a poor installation of the trusses, where there are tolerances of, how far can the truss be out of plane before there might be a structural integrity problem with loads.
So
Trusses,
like
kind
buckling?
of down,
Trusses are designed for vertical loads, so if your truss is tipping and now you have the loads, you're in trouble there.
I always think of trusses as like a deck of cards or dominoes, right? Like they'll all flex and go together, but once one starts going and leaning, you're in more trouble than you think you are, just like a domino or a deck of cards. And they're really basically normally 2 feet on center, and then you have to brace them, right? So they don't have the wobbles, right? And a lot of the bracing is temporary because once it's sheathed, maybe think of a deck of cards, or if you ever did a house of cards, that first floor, right? Once you have that first floor with all the little cards assembled, you're pretty good. But until then, you're in a big world of trouble. And if a big wind comes or a storm comes, and again, safety-wise, there's guys hanging off it like monkeys. It's the most dangerous part of the construction for sure. So Steve went ahead and said, there's got to be a better way. So how did you have the idea? What happened then? How does one invent something?
That's kind of a good question. I think people ask me that, and I don't think it matters what industry you're in. If there is a particular pain point could be in any
pain point, bottleneck, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, what you want to do, and if you can come up with something that solves that pain point, and again, you improve on a process, or you make it faster, safer. It doesn't matter what it is.
Some people would call it a jargon industry disruptor, right?
Yeah, it's just you're trying to come up with a better mousetrap, basically. So going back to the pre-notch truss bracing, this particular job, they wanted them to take the roof completely off because the trusses were so far out of tolerance and plane.
So you can imagine that, right? You got shingles are on it. Were people moved in?
No, building is not done.
And that actually can happen. People can be moved in.
So the code official was raise a flag, structure near, this is bad. It's like, okay, how do you help these guys to do this better? So I dabbled on with extruded plastic. I was thinking about doing something similar with that.
Like a decorator's deck board, if you think of it extruded plastic.
Yeah, or that would just lock it in, everything. They don't have to measure. And then I'll be real honest with you. Many years ago, BCMC, our trade show, was in Tennessee, and I was in a manufacturing, not a truss plant, but they do timber trusses, large scale, and they happen to have the Hundigger saws.
A timber truss is like something you'd see up in like Vilas County up north, and big pieces of timbers, and they really open cathedral type looking. In a lodge house. Did I got you now? Keep going, Steve.
So this particular saw has milling station for like different bits, routers, and it's just amazing what it can do. Well, and we put the new expansion on. We have 3 of these saws.
And this saw, for a timeout, how many cuts can it make in like a minute? You know all this stuff.
I'm not sure how many cuts. I mean, obviously, it's a single blade. It can move every on an axis every degree it turns. It's just, they're crazy, but they also have built-in milling stations.
So it turns it automatically turns based on software at different degrees, and it does it in a lightning speed.
Right.
And we have 3 of them?
Yes.
Okay.
I just stare at that machine for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, that's crazy.
So, in bed at night, I have no idea.
When all the best ideas come.
I go, holy shit. we have those saws at Drexel. I said, I bet we can just get a router bit and we can do this out of wood, which will drive that cost down. And talked with Ross.
Which I call a case, right? Copy and steal everything.
Oh, yes,
As far
yes.
as ideas. Steve took an idea from a slightly similar but different
Mm-hmm.
industry. Always be learning.
Yes.
ABC, or AB, always be closing, but AB.
Oh, yeah.
Always be learning, right? I call
Coaching,
that.
yep,
And just always be curious. We talked about that.
So-
Steve brought that to life.
So before that, I actually,
Steve brings that to life.
I still have it. I should give that to you guys here. I did my jigs up north on the
Oh.
weekend. Got a router. And I started.
And experiment.
But again, you think about like how much Steve is dedicated to the industry.
Yes.
Also dedicated to Drexel and the builders. He just said it up north on vacation on a weekend.
No. I will bring my.
And he says it extremely humbly.
He
Right?
does.
I will bring my jig.
That would be
Jigs.
wonderful.
That I still have it up on my little
Yeah, I
rafters in
think
my
that's
garage,
great.
but
Oh
my
my
wife
God.
was mad because I was routering and I had so much shavings all over the
Imagine
place.
that. Imagine
Okay.
Your wife be like, well, thank you for
Can we
taking me out
just
for
relax?
Take me out for a pontoon boat ride, Steve.
So that's how it started. And I do have
Oh.
saws, and here we are today. So here's the benefit of this.
So Steve came to me with drawings and like, take this. So let's just go through the patent process here, 'cause I think that's important.
Yeah.
Right, so then that happened with Steve's like, hey, we got to firm this up. And I think Steve did his first couple patents, and then he kind of delegated that back to me. And then we went on, you go out and you get a patent lawyer who knows
Okay.
the ins and outs. You pay 10 to 20 grand. I tell you it's going to be 3, it's going to be 20. Any lawyer out there listening, you know it's true
Yeah,
in
yeah.
any walk of lawyer life. So I knew when he said 3 to 5, I'm like, this is going to be 10 to 20, but it's important. And then they basically scour the world for anything patent like it, and then you apply for 2 different sorts of patents. And Steve, they are the technical patent. I'm not saying it correctly. I can't find the words. Technical patent and a more like a thought process patent, and then
Process.
actually,
You can have a process patent.
yes, process
Okay.
patent. That like again, did you actually just think of this?
Okay.
And then also a utility patent.
Yes.
That you actually the utility is like, what is the process of this? Are you actually doing it? So there's like an idea patent and then
Got
there's
it.
a utility patent is the
Okay.
term. We got both on this. The trademarks work very similar. If you ever thought how a trademark works, when you see the little TM,
TM.
very similar thing. It's a registered trademark within the government.
Okay.
And then you could, if somebody copied you can go back and say, I had the idea first on this time and date, and then they would have to show you how it had the time and date. So you have to justify when Steve had the idea, right?
Yeah.
It's like, this is the first email I sent, this is the first cocktail napkin, this is when I woke up with the idea.
Yeah.
You have to document that.
Well, we've even talked about that with authors that have been on the show too. Like, walk us through that process. Like, this is a process. Like,
Yeah, it's the same kind of process. And that takes 6 months. You can keep going with it, but that takes month after month because it's the government and you wait in line and all that.
So again, I call it simple, but because we pre-notched this, it really takes the thought at the job site. And using the other example of the trusses being misinstalled,
Yeah.
but using this, it has to be perfectly spaced. We call this a
So
TS.
if you're just listening, it's essentially a 2x3, a little smaller than a 2x4.
Yep.
And it's notched out exactly every 23 and a half or whatever that is, 23 and a half, 24 inches on center.
Correct.
To fit those trusses so you cannot make a mistake. Speed, efficiency, you're not measuring. Because a lot of times you're 30 feet up, 25 feet up, hanging off a ladder, and you're trying to guess where that tree is. Carpenters are amazing, they do it. So I'm
I
not
believe it.
challenging
Yeah,
carpenters.
yep.
However, this makes it safer because you're not reaching in and guessing, and easier.
So if you understand how they set trusses, typically they cut it like a 25.5-inch 2x block.
Right.
There's several problems with that. For one, when they put nails so close to the end of the board, it splits out it fails between 300 and 500 pounds. We know that from testing. So these are 28 inches. So now we have a strength value of getting closer to 1,000 pounds. So, and we're not relying simply on a nail. We also have the notch of the wood. It locks right on there. They still nail it. They don't have to measure.
And down to wood and efficiencies, environmentalism, whatever you want to call it, cost.
Yeah.
The product that we're giving is bid into your job, is from the plant. We use, I would call it excess material to use it at the job site. That can be really, really good material
Yeah.
that we're using for blocking that is really temporary, or really something that doesn't have to be that structurally sound, and they're just burning through, especially on a multifamily, units of beautiful God's lumber for something that's going to be hidden in a roof that they wouldn't have to.
Wow.
So it's actually reclaiming some better product, a more usable product.
And one other thing too, depending what they're doing, a lot of times they will then, after they temporarily brace these trusses, they will knock them off and throw them in the dumpster.
Yeah, doubling down.
We're changing how we do this, so it's a little bit greener. Again,
Yeah.
you don't have that waste.
A lot less waste, a lot less labor.
Wow.
Correct. There's two other parts of this. So we have this 28. We have we call them a TS10 and a TS10A. It's again, the TS10A has angle 45-degree notches in the board. What that does, if you can picture, again, they have to friction fit on the truss. It automatically spaces those trusses, and they're going to be plumb. So now your tolerances, it's more. It's going to enable you to have the truss intolerance.
Okay.
Because the spacing has to fit into that notch. So it makes it easier for them. That's what's kind of cool about it.
Make their job easier.
Yeah.
Goes a long way.
Glad you had that.
Yeah, and I'll never look at Lincoln Logs the same. But
100%. 100%. That's all it is. It's Lincoln. I joke with the guys when we're on site. You know, a lot of times they're younger. I said, "Do you guys even know what Lincoln Logs are?" Oh yeah. I said, "Well, no, you're playing with Lincoln Logs."
Yeah.
And they kind of get a kick out of that.
I bet they
It's
do.
true.
Yeah. So what's the next steps? And we had talked about getting the QR code, getting this
So yeah,
TVs
maybe
taken
ask
to the
her-
world.
This is kind of me dragging her feet. Again, it's still something new. Steve Harrigus is out on a lot of jobs. You almost have to be out on the job to show them how, where to use it.
Okay.
This is kind of I think we're having a meeting on Monday. Steve's coming up where it's a little bit more. We're going to provide a bracing plan. That does not happen anywhere in the industry yet. That is coming.
It's very cool.
Wow.
It's coming.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it already.
Yep.
So again, with these products, again, we're changing how trusses, you can set trusses.
Because of the change of the industry disruption and what we've honestly done the aggressive way in the past, incorrectly by Joel Fleischman, it's one builder at a time. It's one conversation at a time. It's one conversion at a time. There is no mass launch of everyone will go to this.
Got it.
That's kind of when guys are like, how dare you tell me how to build a home? And we've talked about that before. That's walking in, Steve and I are selling IPA beer, right? And we're like, all you Busch Light drinkers, start drinking mine. And they're all like, oh, you're gonna tell me what kind of beer to drink? You can go to hell. Yeah. So it is one conversation at a time, one sample at a time, one anybody that's maybe interested in, right, answering the right questions. Are you interested in a better way?
Yeah.
F no, I love what I do exactly how I do it. Probably not the right customer for us.
Probably not.
Somebody goes, I am looking into innovation, I want to try something a little different formula. That's probably the customers we need to talk to.
Yeah.
Our Blue Cruise, it's a matter of, sorry about that.
Okay.
Our Blue Cruise, it made me feel good because we missed a job or two when the truss went out and this was not included. And they called and say, hey, what the hell's going on? We didn't get our notch bracing.
That shows you.
Wow.
And it's a wonderful thing to have a few in-house crews because they're helping with research and development and innovation of new products. It's very hard to take a new product to a customer and expect them to be the first guinea pigs.
Yeah.
We have guinea pigs that help us and help us give us real
They
intel
care.
real quick and care, get back to that vertical integration, or why we have some in-house crews to do off-site, because they are very, very helpful to make us better very, very quick.
For sure. Wow.
So that
Good example.
absolutely helps.
So exciting, so valuable. Thank you so much.
So it's a work in progress. This is nowhere near close to, I mean, it's kind of a finish, but it's how do we roll this out?
Yes.
How are they comfortable? So, when we just send this pile up, where does it go? It's got to be some direction. Once they do it once or twice, they kind of have a good
Just
idea.
remind me to come see you. Maybe we got to come out with a T-shirt with the patent number on it.
Oh, we can make that happen.
Yeah,
Love that.
I don't know.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, just come back to me and see if that's a
Okay.
thing. Megan's
It's
gonna
got
tell me
legs.
I'm crazy as usual.
That's her done.
Well, my 100 ideas I give her, as I've said before, I give Megan 100 ideas probably a week. I would say 97. She goes, "That's really stupid. We're not doing that." I'm like,
This is a bigger conversation for Joel and I to have. Really, is okay. This is exclusive to Drexel.
Yeah.
This is big though. The entire, I guarantee you that if we went to, I could think of some guys, Florida, who wants to start doing bracing stuff.
Yeah.
How do we monetize that? How does Drexel monetize this?
as an ESOP owner, as something.
You know what I mean? Can we benefit
Right.
somehow we have to think that through because this
Mhm.
should be shared. I mean, I know we just want to have it. We're the only
Shark
players.
Tanky royalty. things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's something for
If
a
anybody listening to this
conversation.
and try to steal, we're coming after you with our patents.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
That's for another happy hour and
Right,
another and
yeah,
the
we're doing this.
schnapka, right?
Yeah, we'll drink the whole bottle of
There you
Schnapka
go.
and figure that
Then
out.
you got it.
It might take a bottle of Schnapka.
It might. Well, Steve, Trust Coach, I think we're towards the end of our podcast here in
Goes
this
so
youth
quick. They
gentleman,
all go
right?
so quick.
I
We say that every
know,
podcast.
for sure. You get a Billboard message. I'm guessing it probably changed since the last time you've been on here. So, what is that message?
Or not. Or, you just
Or not. And
consistent.
maybe, yeah, could,
Yeah.
lo and
I
behold.
wish I had the same mantra. Would that be one?
Yeah, I have to come up with
Yeah,
a
shirt.
Billboard message.
The other shirt. Yes. Yeah. Highway 41.
He's already been on the podcast. Can you tell he's a salesman? He's like, oh, is that like I have to do that? Yeah. What a salesman.
You're catching me off guard
Oh,
a little
oh.
bit.
Oh,
So
that's
sorry.
rare.
Oh.
Very rare. We'll give you a little bit.
How about,
a few
uh,
seconds to come up with
Look,
something.
I'm thinking back to when you sent out something on community about we were shipping out so much per day,
Mhm, mhm.
and I think I said as a former coach, it's okay to run up the score.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If I incorporate the Drexel thing, well, you're probably in my rearview mirror because you're following us.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to run up the score. That's a pretty good Nike.
Yeah,
logo. I
it
see that
is.
the old Nike when they would have that black background, the white
Oh,
font.
yeah.
Remember that? With like
Mhm.
they would just have that one line.
Keep it
It's okay
simple.
to run up the score.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, I love that. Isn't that the reason the mirror in the front is, because you're not looking back, you're going forward. That's intentional for the car, so I love that.
And we're not done. We have some other things in the hopper.
No, Matt Kavachensky, aka Gronk,
Yeah.
his mantra at Drexel is always we're just getting started.
Mm.
And I think that's what a lot of our competition doesn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
We have not peaked. We're not growing too fast. We're not overwhelmed. In so many ways, we're just getting started, which is really freaking exciting. It keeps us old timers around, like Steve and myself.
Sure does.
We want to see what's
And we're
next.
still working.
Absolutely. There's satisfaction and again, maybe it's the knowledge, experience, sharing that and making it better.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool.
Absolutely.
It's good to have a purpose in life.
It is. Thank
It
you
is.
for your care, your coaching, contribution, and your nomination. Congrats.
All right.
Shufka.
Schnufka.
Schnufka.
We're missing the N. Schnufka.
Schnufka.
I'll get you a bottle.
And how do you?
I'll get you a
when
bottle.
you say in Polish, prost, or how do you say?
Na zdrowie?
I knew I mentioned this to
Ooh.
you before.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie. I can't. Na zdrowie. Okay.
Cheers to
That's
that.
how we'll end it.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Thanks everybody.